And we are recording.
And we are recording.
Almost
You
died
know,
there.
we're both really, really pale. I think this is the whitest I've ever seen you look.
I know.
And I'm like super white, but I have like a pink undertone. And the other day I was at this event and I was looking across what I thought was the room, and I saw someone sitting there. I was like, okay, Pinky, like yikes. And then the more I looked at, I'm like, that is my reflection. I'm talking about me. I am so pink. The fuck? I'm, like, beyond white. I'm, like it's like I'm see-through.
Well, dude, I feel like winter has gone forever this year.
Yeah. It's
Like,
been a long
and
winter.
and it was fucking 18 degrees this week too. So,
Yeah.
Mother Nature, you're not helping. And
Mm-mm.
let's just say you're the reason why Simo's gay. Anyways, we're
Yeah.
gonna do this in 3, not 2, not 1.
What are you doing?
Testes in my mouth.
Get on the ground, you fucking pledge!
Ew.
Welcome to the greatest podcast experience of your life. This is the Frat Chat Podcast.
All young men like three things: food, booze, pussy.
Featuring Carlos Garcia and Chris Moore.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasting time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. I'm Carlos Garcia with Chris Pinky Moore. How's it going, Mr. Moore?
What's up, man? So white. Ah, man.
Your milky pink complexion.
I know. I still don't understand. Whatever. It is what it is. How are you? What's new? What's going on?
I am living the dream, Mr. Mo. The things are good. I am very cold. I am, however, enjoying the success of our very first episode, Mr. Mo, because the people are tuning in, which is great. People love it.
Someone left us a cute message on our Instagram
Oh, yeah, they did.
that he listened to it in college.
Yeah. That's
Thanks,
pretty
man.
nice.
That made my day.
I know. Made me feel good. And we've been rocking. This is season 7. So we've been rocking for quite a few years, Mr. Mo. And we were being listened to still in 69 countries. Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Simo.
Life is good. Life is good. How about you? How are things?
Just been working. In my job, I have a global position. And so I tried it to like reach out to everyone, um, which is difficult because there's so many different time zones. So like I have another corporate office in Lugano, Switzerland. They're 6 hours
Mhm.
away. So like if it's 10 a.m. here, it's 4 p.m. there. They leave at 6. So like sometimes my day starts like 7 a.m. because I want to do meetings with them. It's not too late. 'Cause, and then I have offices or I have shops on the West Coast that need me sometimes, and that's a 3-hour difference. And so like they all close by like 9, but they have an issue with closing, then they call me. So it's like I get phone calls and messages and emails out the wazoo anywhere from like 7 a.m. up till about 9 p.m. And I'm really struggling with just managing my time, like setting up boundaries. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I feel like I work such long days, and then all I want to do is just get hammered. I've been drinking so much lately. It's horrible. My poor husband.
So, and long story short, a lot of work has turned you into an alcoholic. Got it.
Yeah, and also can you see this on the screen?
Yes, I
This
can.
brand
Off
is called
hours.
Off Hours. Have you heard of this before?
Never.
Well, this one's called Paradise Cooler Serenity. It's 10 milligrams of THC, 2 of CBD, and it says vegan friendly and gluten free. That can't be bad. But it's these really knocked me out. I just took one. So we'll see what happens.
So you're saying things are great.
Yeah.
Yeah, things are really looking up for you. I can see. Woo! Totally not. About to hit rock bottom. No, not at
Yeah,
all.
of course.
You know, but
Yeah.
however, I do have some good news, ladies and gentlemen, because very soon, in fact, it is Thursday, March 13th. Doors open 7:30 p.m. Show starts at 8 p.m. The greatest comedy show of all time is back, y'all. It's gonna be awesome. You got Mr. Mo hosting this bitch. You got Alan Mitra in the house from the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. You got Carmen Lagala, also from the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. And you got Pedro Gonzalez. Great, guess what? Also from the Late Show with Stephen Colbert. He's the first Colombian American to do so. And Alan Gunn back then, he used to write for Conan he wrote for the Daily Show and was on
Mhm.
Conan. Sorry, I'm fangirling over here. You also got me in the house. You got Kenise Circa, you've seen on Netflix, and our good buddy, our Floridian friend, Rod Prendimano. It's gonna be a good
Who?
time.
Just kidding. No. I love me
I
some
love that.
Rod.
So, go get your tickets right now. Go to standupny.com. Check out their show calendar, and you'll see us right there. Our beautiful poster, the greatest comedy show of all time. Get your tickets and use promo code GOAT25, GOAT 25, to save 25% at checkout. Do it. Just do it. It's going to be an epic lineup. Yeah, you're not going to want to miss it. So, other than that, I feel like it has to make you feel a little better about life when you have that
Yeah.
coming up.
Well, oh, also, I had jury duty this week, so maybe that's why I'm so like, meh.
Julie was supposed to have jury duty, and then hopefully she was released. I
Well,
think
I
the
was
guy was
on call.
anti-Semitic.
I was like on call every day, and so every night I would call this hotline and they tell you the next day if you go in
Yeah,
or not.
totally.
And so I was on call, and then I went in, and then we sat around for 3 hours, almost 4 hours, and they're like, "Okay, go home." I guess the lawyers were able to settle without needing a jury. But I took an edible before I went. Can I get in trouble for saying that? I definitely was high as a kite waiting for um jury duty. It's like I'm gonna make the most of
Wow.
this.
Wow.
And then this
Well,
guy was trying, like, he's like, "Everyone sit over here. Everyone, please, please be quiet. Please, please." He's like, "Please put your phones down. Guys, please." And I couldn't stop laughing. And he was so short. "Please."
why would you stop?
This is serious, guys. This is serious.
Oh my god. Oh wow. See, Julie's at least was supposed to be via Zoom. So I don't know what
Oh,
this
really?
and yeah, we're here in Jersey, and then like the night before they released her. And it was actually supposed to be the day after the wedding that I spoke about last week on the show where the bridesmaid went pew,
Yeah.
so she was all worried that it was gonna have to be like at 8 a.m. the next day. And luckily they sent her a message saying you're released. I think they had like profiles on each people, and the the defense attorney was like, "That's a Jew. Get her out of here."
Or maybe with all the, like, cameras everywhere, they were like, "She's out partying. You know what? Let's give her
Yeah,
one.
right.
She's a nice
This
person.
bitch is drunk.
Let her have a good time."
However, I will say she only had like maybe like 2 glasses of wine the whole time because she was expecting to do this thing. And then by
Yeah.
the time that she got the message, it was like, well, I'm not gonna, just start pounding liquor now. Which if it would have been me, it would have been like, nope, I'm pounding some liquor now.
Yeah.
But I was driving, so I had to stay sober anyways. But it worked out. Everything worked out. I was able to at least go home at a reasonable hour
If
because
she
she was
knew
gonna
she
be.
had jury duty, she should have been designated driver.
No, because it was her friend's wedding.
So
I don't know. I knew like 6 people there. So like,
yeah, but you're doing her a favor for going. So your reward should be a smorgasbord of booze.
well, you heard it here, folks. Julie, I know you're listening. So
Yeah,
suck it next time. I'm gonna ruin your friend's wedding. But anyways, speaking of ruining things, Mr. Mo, I got
yeah.
a news story just for you. And
Okay.
I feel like maybe we should start having, because these things keep coming up, weekly segment maybe titled "Not the Drag Queens," because ladies and gentlemen, in another case of not the drag queen,
Not the drag queen.
big week, Matt Schlapp, as he's called on Yahoo News, was accused of grabbing another man's genitals. In a Virginia bar and restaurant. According to a sheriff's office report obtained by local newspaper Rappahannock News. Rappahannock? There's a lot of P's and a lot of N's. Rappahannock News. I'm going to say it like that. Sorry, people of Rappahannock. The details of the alleged February 8th incident were revealed on the first day of the Conservative Political Action Conference, the CPAC, an annual gathering of conservatives in Washington, D.C., hosted by the American Conservative Union, which Schlapp has held for more than a decade. This is the same event, ladies and gentlemen, where we just saw Steve Bannon do a very, Nazi-like wave again, and his after being like, fight, 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 and then he threw it right up, and I can't even do it. I don't want to do it. It's not cool to do it. I don't know why these people are just Naziing out. And some are saying he's just trying to get Trump's attention at this point, but it was sad. You could tell that this man is just like, ugh. These people are just they're just being very open with that these days. But anyways, the details were revealed in a report prepared by the Rappahannock County Sheriff's Office, obtained by the local paper and political newspaper 24 Site News, which indicated that customer at the Black Twig restaurant in Sperryville had assaulted another customer and was spotted leaving the scene in a silver BMW. To be fair, if you go to the Black Twig, you know what's going to happen. I never want to victim shame, but that sounds like the rapiest restaurant ever. Excuse me? You want to meet someone at the Black Twig? No. Thank you. If I'm going to go molested, I'll do it at an Applebee's like a normal person.
It sounds like a porno name.
Exactly. And he's not African American. No. His twig is black because he does anal. Oh yes, Simo. So Schlapp, who's 57 years old, was reportedly identified as the subject of the complaint, and he and his wife apparently own a home in the neighboring Madison County. The owner of the restaurant called the sheriff's office at 11:10 p.m. on the 8th, according to the report, which again stated that the subject assaulted one person, grabbing their genitals. And then, people are told to be on the lookout and for the vehicle after he left the establishment, which is how he was then identified. But let's see. Apparently, the alleged victim declined to prosecute. So, I'm not sure what's going on. However, the allegations were first reported last week by an independent journalist, Jashar Ali, who cited 6 witnesses and the alleged victim. So, 7 witnesses total. That does not look good. And here's the thing. This is not the first time that Schlapp has faced accusations of sexual misconduct. In 2023, the Daily Beast broke the story of then Republican staffer Carlton Huffman, who accused Schlapp of groping his crotch during a drive back from an Atlanta bar. Ooh, sounds familiar. Schlapp's lawyer, Charlie...
Someone's a 6-beer queer.
The allegation, called it false. Go on.
Wait, can you hear me?
Now I can. There you go.
Oh, I said someone says sounds like a 6 beer queer. Some people after a few drinks get a little handsy.
Good Lord, dude. But this guy, and that's his MO. And here's the thing, doesn't seem like these other people knew each other. So however, Huffman later sued the powerful conservative lobbyist for battery, defamation, and conspiracy in January 2023, but dropped the lawsuit after Slatt reportedly made an offer to settle. So it shows that this guy at least has a background in this. The MO seems to be going up to dudes and grabbing their dicks, which
No, I think
sexy women can get away with that. Maybe that's rape, dude.
I think would be a really funny SNL skit
Go on.
is if it was like the top Republican leaders sitting down with these like known predators and being like, listen, because all these predators tend to be like rich white conservative like members
Totally.
of Congress, whatever. So I think it'd be interesting if like Trump sat down with them and was like, listen, like we're trying to target the drag queens, and because you got caught being a predator, I need you to go on record saying that you're a drag queen. And these conservative guys being like, I'm not saying that, but it's for the good of the
It'll
party.
be much better for the country. Believe me. Look at you. You always sit down to pee anyways. Okay, you kind of look like a lady anyways. You can just put a couple of heels on you, a couple of titties, and you look phenomenal. Okay, believe me, you're for the country. Okay, look at Caitlyn Jenner over there. She made billions out of it. Okay, believe me.
So then they'd be like, so we're gonna start with a photo shoot for press, and we have Trixie Mattel here to do your makeup. I just think it'd be a really funny skit. I mean, it's a horrible situation, but like,
Or have a game show where is it, you say a bunch of cases of sexual assault. Is it, was it drag queen or Republican, leadership?
yeah,
It's like little boy got groped. Man grabs man by the genitals. And we'll all see a pattern. And Keenan
we should,
Thompson can host it.
yeah,
Be like, man, it's never the drag queens, people.
we should trademark that.
That's right. That's right. SNL. If you want to do
Was
it,
it a white
you'll come to us.
Republican man or a drag queen?
That's right. And the
Clock
thing
in your
is,
votes.
people still went to the CPAC conference and just completely ignored like anything had gone wrong. Well, this guy is like the top guy running this thing. So it's like if like Jeffrey Epstein, even though Jeffrey Epstein obviously had a much bigger record, so that's a little extreme. But it's like if Jeffrey Epstein ran the RNC and people still went to it. You know what I mean? Even though, again, that's a little more on the extreme side, but still, if you're drunkenly going up to dudes and grabbing them by the dick, these are the ones that you got caught that reported it. Who knows how many times he's done it? Where maybe it worked, or they paid off the guy after, and they never called the cops. There's definitely, when there's smoke, there's fire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It looked like he was rubbing he was trying to get fire out of them.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean. Oh boy. But anyways, I got another little good news for you, Mr. Mo, for the world, for America. You always said that you wanted to you had your civil wedding, and you wish that you could still have a bigger wedding that you could still have with your friends. Maybe not too
Oh,
big,
totally.
not too small. And I myself am now engaged, so I'm looking into wedding hunting stuff myself. So I just found out, ladies and gentlemen, the greatest news ever, that right now, this very second, you can go to the greatest place on earth. That's right, Taco Bell. Because if you want to get married there for $777, you can have your Taco Bell Las Vegas wedding package, which features Elvis, tacos and a hot sauce bouquet, people, which is just fucking epic. You got an Elvis impersonator. You got Vegas showgirls, a taco 12-pack, a cinnamon delight cake, and drinks. And couples can invite up to 25 guests and receive themed wedding swag, including a sauce packet garter and bow tie. Rob Condemano, are you listening? The ceremony lasts about 3 minutes with no changing facilities available. So if you shit yourself during it, you're on your own, buddy. But this unique wedding experience is available year-round for those thinking for a bold and fun way to tie the knot. Shout out to Taste Bud for the story. But I will say, me and Julie's first date, I ordered a taco platter that brought 14 tacos. So a taco 12-pack would be a pretty romantic way to shit ourselves into our eternal life.
And the bride's wearing white. This is not a good idea. So I have a question. Now, do you think I could reach out to Taco Bell and say, that's a great package, but I already have a venue. Can I have it catered?
Ooh,
Because you know what? I don't want to get married in a Taco Bell, but I wouldn't mind having Taco Bell, cater the event.
Yeah, well, it is in Vegas, so I feel like they have. Yeah, I feel like they come to you, but I feel like they have a venue in Vegas where they do it. But because it's Vegas. Vegas is all good.
No, my mom and dad.
Just like at a Taco Bell, some drunk dude's ordering his meal like 3 feet from you.
Oh yeah, I think
'Cause
my
think
mom
about
and dad.
$777 in Taco Bell money is like $6 billion. So,
Yeah,
like if you plan to put
think of
that
it as
down
like,
at Taco Bell, you can feed like Africa.
oh yeah. When I was in high school, I think my mom and dad had their like 20 or 25-year anniversary. So they went to go renew their vows in Vegas with
Oh,
Elvis
nice.
Presley, and
Nice.
they invited my sister and I, and we were both like, no. And I was
No,
like, well, I'm not old enough to gamble yet, so it's not gonna be fun for me. And quite
totally.
frankly, I can't think of anything more white trash
Yeah.
than to go as a family
Hey
to
there,
renew
Mom.
vows by, sorry,
You
mom.
and Big Daddy here. How long you been married? Oh, thank you very much.
I was like, I don't want to be a part of this. Womp womp.
Elvis is always drunk. Are you awesome tonight? Excuse me, sir. The ceremony ended like 15 minutes ago.
Exactly.
You please stop that? Hey, you rapscallion. My wife left me yesterday. I'm very sad. Oh, are you always on Elvis? Yes. That's why she left me. I can't
Yeah.
stop doing the voice. Thank you very much.
Did Elvis do karate?
Did Elvis do karate?
Yeah.
I think he did, but not like he wasn't like Bruce Lee. Like he, like basic.
Because he
karate.
was in the military. Maybe he learned some tricks.
Well, yeah, he knew how to like decently fight, but he also he did like a couple action movies too, so he would have been like probably a little tougher than the average guy. Remember, he was a big guy too, so he was no scrub, and he grew up in a tough area too. So I can't imagine him being a scrub, but he wasn't like if you fought like an actual like martial artist, he would get destroyed,
Yeah.
But I kind of feel like we have a good idea here. Elvis versus who can Elvis beat up? I'd watch that. That's just me. Now I can see the edibles hitting you over there, Mr. Mo.
A little bit. It just hit me.
I look over, you staring off like.
I was gauging. I feel like I just got slapped in the face. I was gauging, like, is this it? Is this it, or is this indigestion? I don't know. Let me give it a moment.
Oh man! I just saw your eyes. They went black, like dog's eyes.
The other night, I went out drinking with my husband, and we came home and he's laying in bed, and I come in the room. He's just looking at the ceiling talking. I'm like, "Who you talking to?" He's like, "No one." And I was like, What were you saying?" He's like, "Nothing." It's like, "Uh-huh, uh-huh." So now I feel like we've gone 180 because I feel like I just did that. Anyway, um, so what's on the agenda for today?
Well, it sounds like you and Osmario need to call your therapist. That's a check first on the
Yeah.
agenda. However, Mr. Mo, we've shared the news. We've shared two news. We talked about the greatest comedy show of all time. Come in Stand Up New York, March 13th. Check out standupnewyork.com for tickets. Don't forget. But now it's time, as you said, to get to it because Mr. Mo, as we've shared with the world, we are a bit of a pop culture connoisseurs in film, TV, and entertainment. You know, we've been on TV ourselves. We've been on entertainers for several years, and we've shared our love for movies and TV on this very show with several episodes talking about quite different topics in the biz, as we call it when we're in the biz, you know. However, there are certain things that piss us off, certain things that annoys us, especially in movies and TV shows do these too. But today we're focusing on movies because we're talking to you, baby. We're talking about movie tropes, and movie tropes that annoy us. That's right. Because sometimes these goddamn movie tropes keep popping up in movies, and you see them coming, and they're in every goddamn movie, and it almost becomes something where you can even make a silly joke out of it. And some of these end up in movies like Scary Movie, for God's sakes, because you see them too much, and it just kind of kills it for you. So these are, I was gonna say the top 10, but we got like 12 to rock through today. Tropes that really annoy us. That if you guys could please stop doing out there, Hollywood, it would be great, just for me and Seaman
Yeah.
and his imaginary friend over there, whoever he's looking at. Do it for us three. So yes, just smile now, Seaman. We're gonna be like the Penn and Teller show now.
Well, to start off, you have a bonus one that was kind of phased out, but I think it's
Yes.
worth mentioning.
Yes. So this one was phased out. I think times started changing, so it was a sign of progress, even though we might not have known it at the time. But also, it was done to death to the point that it was definitely spoofed in every horror spoof movie out there. And this is until about the mid 2000s. The black guy used to always die first in every horror movie. It was just the thing. They were always like the coolest characters too, and they would just go out there like do some dumb shit. Like, man, I'll go check it out. And everybody's like, no, don't run out there. It's, man, fuck that monster. I'm gonna kick its ass. And they go out there and then they fucking get their heads knocked out. Like
Or
literally. Yeah, go on.
or they would sacrifice themselves for the protagonist,
Totally.
and then the public's like, "I understand what you did there, and you think you're doing a good thing, but, like, you're still killing off all the black people.
Yeah.
Like, they don't have to die.
No, totally.
They
So
never made
you
it to the end."
So you guys could have just run, especially because you know the guy clearly survived. Like the bad guy clearly survived after the black guy sacrificed themselves. So it's like, you could have
Five
thought
new
this out
stairs.
better.
It's gotten better.
Yeah, that's right. It's progress, people. Because yeah, that was a thing forever. I remember there was a Friday the 13th movie where there was like a boxer, and he was like fucking Jason up, and he's just like pa 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 pa, and then all of a sudden you see that he's starting to get tired, and his punches are getting weaker and weaker, but he's still able to. He was like a slugger, so he's getting Jason. They're fighting on the top of this rooftop, and he's getting closer and closer to the edge. But just as you think he's gonna maybe be able to do it, he's fucking exhausted, and you just see that he just runs out of steam. And
Spoiler alert.
yeah, the movie, like 33 years old, and he puts his arms down, and he's just like shit. And then Jason just gives him one, and his head fucking goes flying off of him, into the camera essentially. And just a very cheesy but well done. I think 1989 to 1991 graphics. I don't know. It was enough for fuck me up as a kid. But yep, it was always a thing.
1989. I was probably 23.
That's right. Sebo was just going through his first divorce.
Yeah.
But yep, that was the bonus.
So we have a list of 10 plus 1.
Yes, 11. So I guess I'll take the first one since
Okay.
we're gonna be at odds here. But this one is one that you see very often in movies, especially kids' movies or in teen flicks, where you see these goddamn kids come down these goddamn stairs, right? And then they see that the mom or the dad made a ginormous breakfast. Well, all the greatest breakfast foods of all goddamn time. You have waffles and pancakes. No one
Mhm.
makes waffles and pancakes unless you're staying at a goddamn fancy resort. It just doesn't happen. You got eggs. You got bacon. You got sausage. You got everything you could fucking possibly
And they
want.
they have fruit on everything. Everything looks nice.
That's
All
right.
the place settings and is that fabric napkins. And then they have orange juice and what's it called? A catheter? The thing that you
The catheter.
Nope,
They
that's
put
not
them
it.
penises.
No, decanter.
That's right. That's right.
Sorry.
You don't
But
want
a
OJ in the catheter,
decanter.
let me tell you.
Like everything's like nice and pretty, and pristine. I think to myself, who has the time to do this?
Right.
What working mom has time to do this?
And then, the kid will look over at everything and will just take like one grape. It's like, thanks, mom. Gotta catch the bus. And again, fucking runs out, or like one strip of bacon, and then the mom is just like, "Oh, I love my kids," and just like
Well,
proceeds to scrub a plate.
mom doesn't do a good job of like managing their kids' time in the morning because she should have sat their ass down and made them eat some food.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell me this is why I was fat when I was little, but I would have been late to school. I
Yeah.
wouldn't even give a fuck. I see that plate of food in front of me. I'm like, oh, mama, I'm sitting down. I'm not fucking letting this go. You crazy?
Well,
So,
I grew up with an eating disorder, so I would have had a lot of anxiety coming down the stairs, knowing that there's a big smorgasbord. I'd be like, oh, how do I get out of this one? Oh, oh.
it's like, don't worry, Chris. We put your funny laxatives inside of them.
Yummy, yummy. Well, my first one is oh, by the way, The Big Breakfast is movies and TV. It's
That's
like
right.
it's everywhere. Okay, so my first one it's kind of a two-parter just regarding horror movies, and I feel like
Wait.
um
Hold on. Let me set you up here, uh, with something scary, to keep you in the mood. Oh, that's scary for you.
this is good. Okay, so in every horror movie, the most beautiful woman in the beginning in her high stiletto heels would inevitably trip and lay helpless as the killer murdered the fuck out of her. Always. I think to myself, like, take off your pumps and run, girl. Take off your pumps, chuck it at him, stab him with it, but book it.
Yeah, and the movie, it's always like this is how it's used to, like, like the guy will slash her, and then her blood will spell out the opening title theme. Scream, Friday the
Yeah.
13th, whatever. Always in cursive.
But I think to myself, like, ditch the pumps, run away, not upstairs, but run away, run to a crowded area, look for a person in uniform, you know, whatever. But
Scream!
they just like lay there.
Fuck yeah! And I honestly, I used that pump to stab it in his eye. Fuck out of here. Bam! Bam! Especially in those 90s movies. When remember, those pumps were like fucking 6 inches.
Yeah.
You could do some damage with those things. No, they're just running there. Ah! And trip and fall like idiots every goddamn time. Every goddamn time.
And then another thing that I noticed in horror movies, there's always like if if an actor was standing in front of like a medicine cabinet, if they open the medicine cabinet um to retrieve something, I knew that there was going to be the reflection of something really scary the moment they shut that
Yep.
door. So like the mirror scene was always it's always a mirror scare in every whenever there's a scene where someone's in the bathroom, I'm like, oh, these are my least favorite moments.
Or they're like washing their face, and then they bend down and there's someone standing behind them
Yeah.
and then they don't see them obviously and then they come back and then they finish and then obviously they turn around and no one's there and it's they always do that shit.
Yep, there's a 99% chance that something terrifying will be in that reflection.
Yep. I will,
Always.
I will say there was only one movie that I think to this day is the greatest jump scare ever. Have you ever seen the Conjuring movies?
Oh, yeah.
When uh the
With the
mom,
doll, right?
yes, with Annabelle, and there's the clapping game, and
Yeah.
then at one point the mom starts hearing the clapping and thinks the girls are playing it, but obviously then she realizes the girls are asleep. So it's like, where's this fucking clapping coming from? And she figures out it's coming from the basement, and then she comes down to the fucking basement with her light, and she can feel it deeper in the basement. And then she goes down, and all of a sudden, her fucking her flashlight goes out or whatever. And she's like, fuck, fuck, fuck. And she finds a match and she turns on the match. And all of a sudden, right behind her, you see 2 hands come out and go, and she's like, ah! And the door gets slammed shut on her in the basement. So she's trapped down there in the dark. And then,
Ugh.
holy shit, dude. That scene fucked me up for good. And I mean, that movie came out, I think I was in college already. So I give it credit. It's so well done. That movie found a way to break the tropes. But other than that, the mirror thing, you see it in, I think, like 90% of horror movies.
Yeah.
And
I'm like,
that's
oh, that bathroom scene.
you know
Ugh.
it's coming. It does still make me jump,
Me too.
which is
It's
annoying
effective.
because it is effective. That's the thing. It's fucking effective. But it's like, come on, man, find a different way to do it. Find a different way to do it. Maybe
When
face it out.
when you were in college, did you ever take a girl or guy to Towson Commons movie theater for a hot date?
Oh yes,
Oh, me too.
I like that mall. I'm not gonna lie, where that movie theater was too. So that area was nice. I don't care.
It was on York Road, right?
Yep.
So that was yeah, I used to go to that movie theater, and then like Caddy Corner is a big, you know, mall, was super fancy.
Hmm.
But yeah, I would take girls to the movie theater, and then we would go to the mall for like a quick bite and to
Wow.
walk around.
And back then, Simo used to take them. A burger cost a shilling. That's right. We had that
Back
currency.
then, I used to dance with girls at clubs. Poor dumb bitches. Stupid hoes. Hello, have you heard me talk? Man, have some self-esteem. Stupid bitch.
Oh. Now I'm sad. Anyways,
Anyways, what's your
uh,
next one?
on to the next one. So this one I know annoys the piss out of my fiance too, who makes sure to call it out every time she sees it with a hateful vengeance in her eyes. Like she really, it really annoys her. Actually, way more than it does me. If it was up to her, this would probably be higher up on the list. Um, But you see it in movies and you also see it in TVs, which is people wearing their goddamn shoes on the bed or on the couch. Like, why do so many characters do that shit? That like they do it on bed and like I said on the couch. They just curl up and stomp around like they're Dave Chappelle doing the Rick James, like fuck your couch, bitch. And it happens all the goddamn time, especially in teen flicks though. Like, who raised these people? Let me tell you, if my dad got home and saw me laying in bed with the same sneakers I just had soccer practice in, he would beat my ass with a belt. That's what would
Yeah.
happen. Like, you chopping mud up in this bed. Are you an insane child? Fuck out of here. People stupid. Like, I'll be like, what the fuck? Take off your goddamn shoes. And they're like, they're not even like, like sometimes, for example, I'm laying on the couch and I'm wearing my shoes and I'm about to leave, but I have my feet dangling off the couch. Totally fine. They'll be like singing there, like, cross legged or shit, or their feet just directly up like that.
Ugh.
It's like, it's like, come on, dude. You're
Did
supposed to have been coming in from outside, right?
Did your family have plastic on the furniture?
No, my grandma did on her couch.
She did. Was she a squirter?
Nope, and my grandpa was. But trust me, not the good kind. It's hard to get at those
Oh,
brown stains.
I understand. We've all been there. Well, I agree with that. I feel like yeah, there's maybe it's the actor and not the character, but the actor like subconsciously is like this couch is gonna go back in storage after this shoot because it's just for staging. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? It's
and
just
it's
a
on the
prop.
director to call it too, like to catch it. It's like you're just being told, "Oh, sit there comfortably," and you just got dressed in this fresh new outfit. You haven't been outside with it at all. You know, I get it. It's easy to think like, "Oh, whatever, I'm comfortable, whatever," and sit like that. But it's on the director to be like, "No, you're supposed to. These are the shoes you wear outside. Like sit how you would sit at home if you had just come outside." So
Yeah,
it's on them calling it. It's on the whole fucking production to be like, "Hey, this looks tropish. Like sit like a normal person, jackass." That's
yeah.
just me. That's just
Um, my husband likes to prop his feet up in bed, and I'm always like, whatever pillow you put under your feet will not be a pillow that's gonna help support
oh
my head.
yeah, no,
So you do
no.
what you want with your side of the bed and your pillows, but I don't want your stinky feet pillows over on my
Yeah,
side.
fuck no, dude. Ah! That's probably how you
Ugh,
get pink eye or something.
yeah, or hepatitis. Um, so my next one is I feel like have you ever been a bartender before? I know you were a server, but you were a bartend?
No, never bartending.
Well, imagine you're a
I sometimes
bartender.
go grab the beers from the bartender, but never poured the beers myself.
Well, have you ever been to Max's in Baltimore? It has like a
Oh yeah,
million beers. Like, can you imagine if you're a bartender there and someone comes in and they say, I'll take a beer. And you're like,
give me a
okay,
beer. That would be
well,
like
which
the
one?
equivalent of the girls that go out there and it's like, "Can you tell me what's good?"
Yeah.
So was that bitch.
Is a spicy margarita like spicy,
Yeah,
spicy?
yeah. What do you have? Bitch, are you serious?
It's like, what's the next step up from like well? And they'll say it.
Yep.
Better not. Okay, but I don't want well. What can we do for you? Do you want a glass of rosé? You look like you would want a glass of rosé. A little splash of rosé and an Adderall, is that what you want?
Right.
Okay, so, I in movies, I feel like characters always ask for a beer, and the bartender will give it to them without having any discussion of, like, what kind of beer. Like, they don't
Totally.
necessarily have to say, like, "I want a Bud, I want a Coors," but they could say, like, "Do you have, like, a Belgian wheat beer of some sort?" Or, "Do you have what's your hoppiest IPA?" I don't know. "What's your strongest IPA?" But they
Totally.
don't have any
Totally.
discussions. It's just like, "I'll take a beer. Here's a beer."
So yeah, hey man, I'll take a beer. And this right away.
Go to any bar and tell them, "I'll have a beer," and see what happens.
See, they're like, fuck, if we if we have the bartender clarify what type of beer, we have to pay him more. So
Yeah.
and we have to make him from a day player to a principal, and we just can't have that. So fuck it. Read minds.
Like I feel like if I was playing a server in a restaurant movie, then I would have to like really look at the script and be like, okay, I mean, realistically, I'm gonna ask them if they have any allergies. You know what I mean? Like what really happens at restaurants? Any allergies over here? No, you guys are good. All right, all right.
That's true. But to be fair, I don't think I ever asked that. But I worked at Red Robin.
But
And
even like
it was
at
assumed that
California
he would
Pizza
tell me.
Kitchen, I would say I would put down some like coasters, bring everyone waters. Okay, aside from waters, anything else you guys want to drink? Okay, I'll get started with that, and then do you want me to put in some appetizers? So you know what I mean.
Yeah,
But
that's
I feel like in
smart.
movies, you don't have any of that like those normal discussions that you have with servers.
Totally. They always just come up and say, what will it be? That's always their one line, and then they do their thing, and then they ask no questions, and they just leave. They just walk away.
But I feel like whenever I was serving, doesn't matter what it could be a salad, a pizza doesn't matter, but everyone would want to customize it. So
Oh,
you tell me
absolutely.
at these like fancy ritzy restaurants that these Karens aren't like, can I have it but without this? But can I substitute this in place of this? And I have to pay extra, you know? Like,
Totally. However, there is one good movie. It's a classic Jack Nicholson movie where he's trying to get like toast or something, uh, and the restaurant is giving him like shit about it. The waitress is giving him shit, and he's just like, "Well, you have bread, don't you? And you have a toaster, don't you? So you can toast the bread, can't you?" And he just goes on this thing. I'll have, and he just keeps repeating his order, and she's like, "Sir, we told you we can't customize anything. It has to come as it is." Uh, he's like, "But I don't want that. I want a chicken salad on toast or something like that." And he keeps going on back and forth. That's the one time I think I've seen it, and maybe in the movie Waiting. I think the movie
oh, Waiting is a
Waiting,
great movie.
that is the
Ryan Reynolds is brilliant.
greatest. And obviously, it's turned up to a 10. Turned up to an 11, as they would say. Uh, uh, but it's the most accurate comedic representation I've seen of being a waiter at one of those types of restaurants. And the people that come in there and the shit that you see, like when it's like bad. I have to say, if you haven't seen that movie, that's a classic. It's worth it. But I've never like fucked anybody's food like they do in that movie. So just know,
I did.
I never saw it. Oh, I know you would, you goddamn monster.
I spit in soups.
Oh, no, no. I could never. I really could never. Because if someone did that shit to me, I would murder them. So I'll tell
I
you.
scratched my balls with forks and then put it on like their plate.
You see, at least that's a 50
That's
50
what
chance that maybe they won't use the fork.
I was horrible.
What a monster.
I
Oh,
would get
God.
ice with my hands.
Oh, no. That's awful, Seba. What the fuck? That's a health hazard.
I was
What the hell,
horrible.
man?
I was the worst person to work in that industry. Anywho, what's
Yeah.
next for you?
Jesus Christ. Next for me might be getting you a lawyer. Good Lord.
Ooh,
Now, this one, I got to go with bad guys and lots of movies. And I just like to call Get On With It. But let me see. Let me see if we got a little action. There we go. This would totally work. This would totally work. So, you're watching your favorite action flick. And the badass hero is finally captured by the evil villain in the film. And I would sit there tied up and, oh, you'll never get away with it, Blofeld. However, rather than just shooting the motherfucker, and disposing of the enemy, the villain proceeds to reveal their entire evil scheme to the good guy or girl, which eventually leads to the hero foiling the goddamn plan. See, how does that make sense? Prepare to die, Mr. Bond. But before you do, let me give you a detailed description of everything I plan on doing anyways, along with blueprints to my entire building. So get on with it already, you motherfucker. Just fucking shoot him in the head, throw him in the goddamn water, movie over. Movie over.
Yeah, because
Example,
sometimes I think to
every James
myself,
Bond movie ever.
yeah,
But
that's
go on.
true. And sometimes I think to myself, like, because at the end, like, the bad guy was so conniving, he was so good at being evil that sometimes it's just nice to like. Sometimes I root for the bad guys, but at the very end, that they're just like stalling and like not being smart. I'm like, you know what? They deserve to go to jail at this point. Like I
Totally.
kind of commended them up until now. Now I just think that they need to just do some time.
Totally. Another movie where I saw it was I was watching Constantine with Keanu Reeves the other day. And the movie was fucking awesome.
Is that a vampire movie?
It is, I don't know, there's not vampires in it, but he is like he can see the basically like demons and shit that are on Earth. And it's because when he was a kid, he tried to commit suicide and then he was sent back. But now he could always see these things, and it basically like made him start hunting demons and shit, the stuff that he can see, as opposed to being
I think I
afraid of
should
it.
watch this. I feel like I may have seen it before, but
But it's
this is the
really
second time
good.
I've heard this recently. I should
I'm
watch
not
that
gonna
again.
lie, it's really fucking good. And not to not to spoil it, but then the bad guy in the end then reveals the entire fucking plot to him. And it's like, why did you have to even tell him? Like, if you don't say a word and you just let him die, that's it. You get away with it.
Hmm.
No one would have known. Because Keanu Reeves is really smart in it. So you'll see. I don't want to spoil the whole thing if you want to watch it. But it's still worth a watch. It sounds really fucking good. But seeing that, I'm like, God damn it. You just had to keep talking, didn't you? You just had to keep yappity yapping. I fucking hate yappers.
It's
Unless
so
it's us.
predictable.
Because we're in a podcast. We have to yap. That's kind of the point for this. But not when you're the bad guy fucking thing. And you literally have a secret scheme, which you haven't told anybody in. And you've gotten everybody fooled with, including God, essentially. You have to tell this fucking guy who's about to die? Come on. Come on. Fucking angry.
Well, as passionate as you are about that, I'm just as passionate about this next one. So my next movie trope that annoys the fuck out of me is like just how vanilla people are in the bedroom. So I feel like whenever there's like a love scene, it's like immediately missionary sex. Okay, well, you ever tried reverse cowgirl? How about doggy style? What about foreplay? You telling me that y'all are gonna do some oral for about 10 minutes before you bump
10
some
minutes.
uglies?
Maybe taking turns. Good lord.
But I feel like, you know what I mean? Like, so when people are having sex in the bathroom, I guarantee they're doing oral in real life, but in movies that they're always like having full blown sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. I never banged in a bathroom.
When people are
Actually,
having sex
did I
in
bang?
cars in
I
real life, they're
banged in a
probably
bathroom.
giving head. But like in movies, they're having like passionate sex. It's
Totally.
uncomfortable in a car. It's not enough room.
Totally. I banged in the bathroom, but it was my own. At parties, it was always. So for one time, where I did bang in a bathroom. Every other time, it was always like BJ's in there, because that's what you had time to do. You know what I mean? And it's like, and someone else is gonna want to come into the bathroom sooner than later. So yeah, you don't have time to fucking get all uppity. You gotta just do the
I
thing and
just
get
know
out.
that if there's someone that I'm dying to sleep with and I finally get that moment, I want to do all the positions. I want to do all the fun stuff. You know what I mean?
There
I,
is one
I
movie, Team America, World
oh
Police.
yeah, that's true though. In real life, that's what you want to do.
If you tell me right now that you'll never die, I'll sleep with you right now. I promise I will never die. And then they just start going to town on each other. Oh god, that is the funniest scene ever. Especially if for you listeners who might be on the younger side or even on the older side who never saw
It's a
this movie.
classic.
This movie was made by the people who made South Park, and it featured puppets. So you have these puppets, and I swear to God, they went through like every position in the Kama Sutra. But you're right. Other than that, it's always that like awkward, like missionary cut that they have where you can see the guy from the top, like, are you ready for this? And then the girl, like, yeah, because they got to show
But
consent. You know what I
but
mean?
if you're really ready for it, I mean, I don't know. I just feel like if it'd be a little bit more realistic if, like, he were to go down on her for a little bit and got her, like, all hot and bothered before he, like, started to plow some shit, you know what I mean? In real life, you start with oral.
And they'll be like, "Sir, this is the Disney movie. Why are you why are you asking for these things? This is we're asking how to write the plot to Lizzie McGuire movie 2."
I just wish that this was just more realistic,
Yeah,
you
no, I
know?
hear you. I mean, to be fair, uh, and I don't know if this is necessary to give it the movie an excuse or not, but I feel like the biz is still very male dominated, and a lot of guys fantasize about just what they can do. And a lot of them don't do foreplay and stuff. I'm not one of those guys. I fully believe that you got to have some good foreplay tie in
Oh, of
before
course.
you absolutely have to. That makes it way more fun for everybody involved. When everybody gets to finish too, you know what I mean? Uh, if you know what I mean. that's that's what Julie's always laughing. Never mind, I should never say that. But yeah, there was a time where actually I can't say that I was. I've never been a prude. Maybe this one person I dated that I didn't necessarily like doing things with, but that's a whole nother story for a whole nother day.
She really wanted to put a strap on and just plow your hiney hole, your
That's
pussy?
right. And I say not till Sunday. Um, but no, it was. I agree, but I just feel like guys in general are kind of selfish lovers, and that's why that's why the vibrator industry does so well. That's just me. Uh, you gotta not be selfish lovers, guys, and that goes to movies too. I think maybe one should give the example to the other. So maybe we just gotta write the real good intimate sexy time scenes, Mister Mo. But now also like you gotta have like good intimacy coordinators to record these things. Like I was watching Blade yesterday with the original Blade back in the day, um, and with Wesley Snipes. And there's a scene
Before he went to jail? Didn't he go to jail?
he did for tax evasion.
Oh, yeah,
This
that's it.
this is before that. This is when he really blew up. I mean, he had a lot of big roles, but this movie is huge. But he walks into this club, and it's like a techno club filled with vampires, and there is a bad guy sitting there with two girls, one like here that he's kind of like giving kisses to, and she's kind of like nibbling on his ear, and then another one here who's like giving him head, and it's like they obviously they just show the girl there going up and down there, don't fucking close up on it, but I'm like
Right,
thinking. Imagine you're this extra because you don't see her face, so you're just an extra, and it's like okay, like you go stand over there and dance, you go over here, you can go over sit over here, you can pretend to kiss, you just pretend like you're sucking his dick. What? Yeah, just pretend like you're sucking his dick. Excuse me. What, are you new? Are you not a professional? No, I'm a professional. I really want to be in the biz. Okay, then pretend you're sucking his dick. Okay. And then you kind of get brainwashed. Mom, I was in the movie. Oh, well, what was your role? Well, I was at a party and I had to pretend to suck on his dick. Oh my god, I'm so proud. But it's like, like that's a role. Or like in the movie, what was it? 21 Jump Street, the one with Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill.
Oh,
There's a
I like that movie.
there's a scene where they open the door and there's like a really weird threesome going on when there's like a girl in like all fours and then a guy, I guess, hitting her from behind, and then a girl behind that guy, I guess, hitting him from behind, and they're all like, "Oh my god, close the door!" And they're all naked and shit. It's like, can you imagine? That's your that's your big break, quote unquote. All right, you're extra. You're gonna be a dancer over here. You want to be a featured extra? Okay, good. Well, you're gonna get all fours here. You're gonna pretend
I
you're
would own that shit with pride, and that would be the best fucking hoe that this cinema has ever seen.
That's true. To be fair,
And
you
I would
have.
own that shit.
To be fair, I
I'd be
did
so
spank
proud.
you on national TV, so I.
Oh yeah, thanks, man. You got strong hands.
There's so much more to that that they should have shown, but maybe it's better that they didn't. That's just me. But
Someone pull the
anyway.
tapes. I need some blackmail material.
Anyways, more foreplay in films, please. That's what Miss
Yes.
Mo says. But this next one is another one. I'm going back to the action genre. Or really thrillers do this shit too. But this shit kills me. So, again, you are watching your favorite action film, right?
Titanic.
Yes. But though there's a lot of action, Titanic. In the
Patriot.
sack. Ew. No, however, Titanic does have that scene where the fucking dangling on top of the ship, and you see the guy like fall, like ah, and then he hits the propeller.
Yes.
I was like, oh. But anyways, you have been watching an action film, and this is the big climax coming. Oh yeah.
Oh
Where you have, two very tough guys viciously fighting each other over a gun. They go back and forth, karate chopping, elbows to the face, gun goes flying, they dive over top of it, they just keep wrestling that shit, and then all of a sudden, you just hear, "Pah!" and everything stops. And then literally, you just sit there with both characters standing there with like
Which one is it?
ambiguous face that looks like time Simo let out a fart. They came out with an extra surprise. He had to leave the club early. They're both
Yeah. True story.
and they do this face in like 8 slow-mo seconds until you finally see the bad guy dropping to their knees and dying, and you like see like the wound on them. But they do this shit all the time. Pah! And then you're just both like, and it's just a close up. It's like, who is it? Who got shot? Who got shot? And then you find out it's always the bad guy. It's like, come on, guys, come on, we've done
That's
this,
true.
we've seen it, we know. Why would
Yeah.
you both be making that face? Like obviously the guy who got shot should be at least like, ooh, you just got shot at very close range. That would hurt like a motherfucker. You both can't be making the same goddamn face. That's
But
ridiculous.
also, after they get shot, there's a moment where the two of them both have wide eyes, like in shock, and look at each
Yeah,
other. I think to myself, like, you're fighting over a gun. Do you know what guns do? Like, are you that shocked that it
yeah,
went off? And are you
right.
that shocked that you got hit? You know what I mean?
And
It's
then
a 50-50 chance.
they almost look like they're about to kiss in that moment. It's like, what's going on here? You guys are looking at each other very weird. But again, like if you
They should
shot me,
kiss,
I'm not
and they
making the
should
same
drop to their
face as the
knees
gun.
early before they get shot.
But yeah, if you shoot me, I'm not gonna be making the same face as you if you got shot. You know what I mean? Like it makes no sense. I'm just sitting there like, ow, that hurt, man. Even in slow mo, I'd be like, "Oh, that hurt, man." You know, like, what the fuck? No, you got to
Mhm.
cut that shit. You see it so much, so many action films. Probably a lot of James Bond ones too. Honestly, I have to now in hindsight, they do a lot of tropes. I love me some James Bond. Huge fan of the whole thing. I watch the old ones too. I don't give a fuck. You know, Sean Connery, great Bond. Even if the judo chop fights were back then, it's not their fault. That was just the product of the times. Still great movie,
Yeah.
but good lord, a lot of tropes in those.
Well, my next one is pretty like I mean, this will be a quick one, a quickie. Um,
Hero.
but I feel like if I'm watching like a dramatic moment or some really intense acting, and then they drop their phone number, they're
Yeah.
like, if there's an emergency, I want you to call 555 555 5555. You know what I mean? It's like really like give the actor something more to work with. There might be a legality. I'm sure there's probably like they had to use fake numbers, otherwise, you can ruin someone's life if that's their real number.
Well,
But
I
I'm
was gonna
always
say,
like, oh, come
yeah,
on.
that's the reason they do it because there's a fucking always a moron who then will start calling the goddamn number. Like, remember that song? 8675309. People would fucking call that number for years and years and years. And the person whose poor number that was bombarded by drunk calls from everywhere in the United States
Oh
at all
yeah.
hours of the day, especially because there's time differences across the states, and, and lived a miserable life. So there's always a jackass who will call the number. So I get it, but they do at one point like start to cross over. You know what I mean? Like the detective will be like, "Take my number 555 5555," and the other guy will respond, "Thanks. Take mine down too. 555 5555." It's like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Isn't that his number? It gets silly. It does get silly, especially, obviously the logic in that is pretty flawed, but you gotta let it go. It's a movie, but just know this is the only one that I understand the need for, is because there's always a jackass out there ruining it for the rest of us.
Yeah.
So I understand. But anyways, uh up next on my end, Mr. Mo, I got two more. So this one is annoying as shit. But this is honestly, it's not as annoying at this point as it just makes me laugh because it is hilarious. So, but it is the filters and the music that's used uh, to show like different areas of the world. So, for example, like let's say like you're watching, your favorite, movie, and this is a lot for like movies that deal with terrorism, military shit like that. It's set in the Middle East. So then there obviously has to be a filter to make everything look like kind of brownish and shit. Plus another filter to make the air look like super hot and thick. But most
And
importantly,
Dusty.
that's right, musty. Most importantly, they need someone. The music needs to be someone in the background saying the most stereotypical Middle Eastern sounding shit, like with a little like flute, like
That's even more offensive.
it's like, what the fuck? Or if they go to Japan, it's gonna be some like ancient flute music, like
It's exactly like that. It's exactly like that.
every goddamn time. And then of course, if they just fucking go to Mexico or some shit, it's gonna be something super goddamn stereotypical, like and they get greeted with people in sombrero, like, "Hey, dude, how you doing?" And they hire Carlos Mencia every goddamn time.
A great example of this is, you ever watched the movie Big Trouble in Little China?
Oh yes,
I mean,
great
what
movie,
can you do?
great movie. But it,
It is funny because a lot of like, if there's a scene that's set somewhere in China that you're gonna hear the dang 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 dang, you know what I mean? It's like, oh my gosh.
and
Anything else?
you'd like to think that this was something that just happened in like 80s movies and even the 90s movies to some degree, but nope. It's like very, very active in today's world. And that's so true.
And you're right about the filters for anything that's like for like Taken or Taken 2, you know what I mean? Like,
Mhm.
I feel like whenever they're dealing with their like with the antagonists out in the Middle East, it's always like a filter, like a sheer like sand breeze, you know?
Totally, and even Europe, they give it, like, a rainy filter over there for some reason. I guess
Yeah.
London is always fucking rainy, but there's sunshine the rest of it, good lord. But yeah, no, it's insane. But to me, the music, to me, whenever in Asian countries and the Middle Eastern shit, fucking destroys me because it's just too funny, and, like, how is it still a thing? And I remember, and this was more in the 80s, at least they did phase this out. When there would be in some Asian countries, then you would like they would say something funny, and then all of a sudden you'd hear like a gong, bong. It's like no.
Yeah. Hollywood is racist, man.
At least we progressed from when the white people used to play the Asians and the blacks.
Ugh. Not a proud moment in American history.
Oh god, it's so bad. It's so bad. But honestly, if you want a laugh, and it's super bad to see it, obviously, but watch like the white guys playing Asians in the 80s, you know. Hoy oh! It's
Oh god.
so bad that anybody thought that this would be okay. But at the same time, when you watch them do it, it is the funniest shit you'll ever see. Same thing with Spanish, the only one that I give props to was Al Pacino with Tony Montana, and then in Carlito and Carlito's Way, because he actually really worked on the accent to the point where even on set, he was working on it with his Latino actor, getting tips to make sure it sounded as good as possible, and he did well. He did well. He didn't like stereotype it. Uh, so I will give him credit. He's the only white guy I've seen that can pull it off. But other than that, it's usually like, "Hey man, how you doing? You coming to the barbecue later, man?" It's like, "Ah, come on, come on."
Their best Cheech and Chong impression.
That's right, exactly. That's right. But anywho, what you got? Your
This
last
is
one.
my last one,
Bring it.
and I have a public service announcement. If you think that under your mat, your like doormat is a sneaky place to hide a key, you're mistaken.
Yeah, I got a bridge we can
And
sell you.
and I don't feel bad. I don't feel bad if someone's car gets stolen because they strategically left the keys under the visor. You know what I mean? So
It's
like,
always pickup trucks too.
yeah, so I think to myself, um, like in real world we don't do this. Like, I don't know anyone that hides their key over the door frame or under a mat. Like, I don't know anyone that does that. Like, that's crazy. Um, I don't know anyone that's ever put their keys like you risk locking yourself out of your car. So why would
Yeah,
you leave the keys under the visor? It makes no sense to me.
it's so
So,
stupid.
but in every single movie, that's how they get in. It's like,
So
oh, here's a
stupid.
house I need to get into. I hope that there's a spare key. Oh, perfect. What are the
Totally.
odds?
Totally.
Like, what?
Like, I honestly would rather watch the extra 3 seconds in the movie it would take for the person to know how to hotwire a car, or just flat out steal it from someone. "Hey, give me your fucking car." But it's
Yeah.
always, like, the most ridiculous shit. And, like, maybe, like, you know what? Maybe in the '70s or '60s, people would do dumb shit like that. People used to be way more trusting of others until serial killers and things started popping up and realized, oh shit, that's stupid. Because I like, for example, I was watching a documentary on the Night Stalker. And this was going on in LA,
Oh yeah, scary.
late 70s,
The guy
early
had
80s, I
razor
believe it
teeth,
was. Yeah, that guy was
like shark teeth.
gross.
Yeah.
But this lady called her mom and dad to be like, you need to lock your doors. There's a serial killer in the area. And the mom was like, nah, I haven't locked my doors my entire life. I'm not going to live in fear and shit. Well, she should have locked her goddamn doors because that night the fucking serial killer chose her house and ended up killing them in horrific ways and sexually assaulting the old lady too, because he was a sick fuck. So it's just they just went in the most awful way, and all because they didn't lock their goddamn doors. So people were unfortunately taught a lesson that that's not the best way to live. However, in Canada, crime is pretty low, and I hear people don't really lock their doors too much. They don't need to. So
They also don't shoot up schools in Canada.
that's right. They're very polite in Canada. So excuse me, eh? I shot myself, eh? I don't know. I don't even know. I don't think they have gun violence. Do they even have guns in Canada? I don't know.
I don't think so. I
Very
guess
polite.
not.
Very polite Canadians.
They just have
But
Justin
yeah,
Trudeau in
I'd
blackface.
never in my life would I ever choose to leave my keys in my car in a visor and leave the car unlocked too. Like what? You know how many people just go around feeling for car doors that are open and fucking stealing?
Yeah.
No way. No way, dude. No, no, no. Anywho, Mr. Bow, I'm
Anyhow, you got one left.
to my final one. And this is one that is definitely my top one because I think it's the most disgusting, gross one. I know for a fact that this is one that my fiance hates as well. And I actually just recently made a little sketch about this. But let me set the scene. You're watching your favorite rom com or love flick, and the lady character, she's pregnant. And she's so happy about it that she shows the pregnancy test to her significant other. And what does he do?
It goes like this. Ah.
Yeah, they're busy to handle it. They kiss it. They rub it against the face
I mean, that's true.
as if this wasn't a fucking stick that she literally just took a pee on.
They
Like,
stir their drinks with it.
Yeah, I kept it as my coffee stir.
Yeah.
Honey, why does our future baby smell like asparagus? Like, what the fuck, baby? She peed on that. Why are you holding it like that? What the fuck, man? What are you doing? This is insane.
I love asparagus.
This is insane. Yeah, dude, asparagus is delicious. A little good sauce, but it does make your pee pee extra stinky.
I
And
put balsamic vinaigrette, garlic, and parmesan on
ooh, I've had like a little
mine.
Bernaise sauce, all kinds of shit. Uh, however, this is disgusting TMI, but it is towards the end of the
Sorry
show.
for the tangent.
That's
Sorry.
right. But that is a good way to prove if you know the age old question is when ladies you know when they squirt, I guess. I should just say it, be an adult about it. Is it pee or is it just liquid? And I heard from a good friend of the show, who I'll tell you after we are done live, that their significant other had asparagus. And at the time, the person they were dating was a squirter. And when, you know, they did their thing and she did her thing later on, it smelled like asparagus pee. So I think it's so facto.
I
Squirters are
did a
just pee.
squirter in college and ruined my sheets.
Yeah, I think it's just pee. I think it's pee.
It's like, ew. It's like, I have to change the sheets.
It's like
She said, no, it's fine. It's not fine. Like, you just peed all over my bed. I got to change the sheets.
it's like I don't pay. I swear that. I think it's pee, lady. Pretty sure it's
PP.
pee.
And then I was like, that's it. I'm gay. Ewy pooey. Girls are so fucking gross. And I really thought I was going to save my sheets being gay, but I got news for you. I
Nope.
wash the sheets more often.
Oh yes, it's always fun and games till you get the brown stuff, you know. That's
Yeah,
all
if
I'm
you ever go
saying.
to a gay wedding, I don't care if it's on the registry or not, they need linen.
Check. Especially for the honeymoon.
And then don't even invest in a high thread count because the sheets, they're not going to last long.
No. Just
Yeah.
get them numbers extra. Get them 10 sets of sheets.
Yeah,
One count.
pretty much.
Oh geez. Well,
You know what? I had these like reusable ice cubes
right.
or some like they're like stirrers, but you keep them in the freezer.
Yeah.
You know, we should go in business and make pregnancy tests shaped frozen ice cubes to use as a drink stirrer.
That actually would be hilarious.
That's so
That'd
funny.
that'd be hilarious. Patent pending, people. Don't you steal it. I like it. I like it. But while we patent this epic idea, that was our list of movie tropes that annoy us here at the Frat Chat Podcast. And as always, let us know if there are any tropes that you want to hear. Anything that pop up for movies for you, shoot us an email, fratchatpodcast@gmail.com, or give us a follow on all social channels at Frat Chat Podcast. That's on Instagram. That's on Facebook. That's on Twitter /X. That's on Threads. It's on YouTube, where you can also watch our episodes and see our beautiful faces live every single week. And you can also give me a follow. Check out my website, carlosgarciacomedy.com. You can also give me a follow on all social channels at Carlos Does the World, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, on Twitter at Carlos Does World, Threads, and everything else at Carlos Does the World. And you can get my good buddy Simo over here a follow as well. Check him out at chris.moore.comedy on Instagram, on the talk, as the kids say. No one says that. I just made that up.
On Grinder.
That's right. And see more comedy on Twitter /X. Oh yeah, so Mr. Mo, it's time to go. So once you get us,
Carlos, I motion to adjourn this meeting.
and I second. And of course, thank you again for listening. 69 countries around the world. Oh yeah. We'll be back next week with another edition of the greatest podcast in the history of podcasts in time. It's the Frat Chat Podcast. See ya!